Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be creating a pin bar based expert advisor. Here on my screen you can see the steps that I will follow throughout this video. So the first step is that I will initialize the EA, so I will create a EA in my MT5 editor and I will create all of the inputs, I will load all of the indicators and stuff like this. Then the second step is that I will create two functions for identifying pin bar patterns. Here you can see what a pin bar pattern is actually. So there's a bullish pin bar and bearish pin bar. They look almost the same, they are just reversed basically. And they are used as a reversal patterns. The next step will be that I will create functions that will identify overbought and oversold areas in the market. And after that, I will create function that will open a buy position after there's a bullish pin bar pattern and the area or the market is oversold. And I will also create a function that will open a sell position after there's a bearish pin bar pattern and the market is overbought. And as the last step, I will test the performance of this EA, so I will try different time frames, different symbols, and you will be able to see if this is something that can be used for profitable trading. So yeah, let's get to the video. And before we start with the coding part, I would like to encourage you to check out my website that is in the description of this video. You can get a lot of free trading indicators there. So yeah, go check it out. And now let's get to the video. Okay, so as you can see, I am here in my MT5 editor. I am in the expert advisors folder and I'm here in my YouTube folder and I will create a new expert advisor. I will name it something like pin bar RSI because I will be using RSI indicator as well. I won't create any input parameters here. I will create all of them in the actual code so you can see everything. Okay, so click on next. I don't need on timer and on trade as well, so I can uncheck these. And yeah, this is all I need. So I will start by deleting all of these comments that are right here because I won't need any of this. I will also delete this on the init function because it's not something that I will need as well. I will just need on init function and on tick function. Okay, so let's start with the first step, and that is to initialize the EA. So I will start by creating an RSI handle, which will be used for an RSI indicator. Basically, RSI indicator will be used for detecting overbought and oversold market areas. That's what it will be used for. So let's start with it. I will go here on global scope and I will create integer RSI handle. This is all I need, and I'll just comment it here, handle for RSI indicator. Okay. Then when we want to work with RSI indicator, we need a period for that RSI basically. And that's something that can be changed via input menu. So we want our user to be able to change the RSI period from the inputs menu. And that's why I will create a new input variable of type integer called RSI period, and I will set the initial value of 14. So RSI period input. Okay, So this is all I need for start. Then I will move here on the init function, because on init function is used for loading the handles basically. So I have to assign a value to the handle here, and I can do it like this. So RSI. So now I am accessing the RSI indicator, and now it requires some input parameters. The first input parameter is for the symbol that I want the RSI for, and I will be using the current symbol. So it goes like this. The second parameter is the period, so it will be period current. Now it needs the RSI period, so I will input the input value that I have created and applied price or handle. Let's go with price close. Yeah, so this is what we need to start with. I think that yeah, this is all for the RSI indicator. The next step when initializing this EA will be importing the trade library of MQL5 that will allow me to open buy and sell positions. So I will go up here and I will type include trade/trade.mqh. So this is for importing function library for opening positions. Okay, so this is nice. I hope that this is large enough. I can change it to 14. Okay, this will be even better, I think. Okay, so and now I need to create an object of the trade class, which I will use later in the video. So let's type ctrade and let's create an object that will be called trade. So creating an instance of ctrade class. Okay. And the last thing that I will need to do here is to create two variables for ask and bid price. Because when I will be opening buy and sell positions, I will need bid and ask price in order to do so. So I will go here. I'm still working on this on global scope, and I will create double ask is equal to 0 and bid is equal to 0. So creating variables for ask and bid price. Okay, so this is all I need. So let's go back to our chart here, or how to call it, board, and let's change the color to the green color. Okay, I don't like this shade of green, so let's do something a bit different. Okay, this might be better. Sorry. So what am I? Okay, so I don't know what I've done here, and I don't like it. So okay, let's create first initialize EA. So yeah, let's go. Let's leave it like this. So the first step is done. So now let's create two functions that will identify the pin bar. So the first function will be for the bullish pin bar, and the second function will be for the bearish pin bar. Okay, so let's go back here and let's do it. So those two functions will be of type boolean, because it will return either true or false. True will be returned when the pin bar pattern is detected basically, and false when it's not. So boolean, and let's call it bullish pin bar, and I will need one input variable that will be called shift. I will explain what the shift variable does later, and I will also create a second function called bearish pin bar integer shift. Okay, so for the function I will use my already created functions that I have done in my other videos, in my other video in which I showed you how to detect pin bars. So that's what I will do here. So I will go here to my candlestick patterns file, and I will copy the code for the bearish pin bar like this, and then I will also copy the code for a bullish pin bar. And of course I will explain or go through the code, and I will explain what's happening. So if I compile this, I also return true, return false. So these are just slight adjustments. True. Okay. And so let's go over the functions first, and I will correct all of the errors as we progress. So what's happening here is that we firstly get the values for our candlestick, because since the pin bar patterns consist of one candlestick, we need values only for one candlestick basically. So that's why we are obtaining the high value. I will just delete this, low value, open and close values as well. So that's what we will be working with. And then we are creating these variables that give us some information about the candlestick. So the first variable here is called candle size. So basically here we measure the distance between high and low. Okay, so that's the candle size. Then we get data for upper shadow. Upper shadow is the upper wick, so in this case it's this part here, and for bearish pin bar it's this part here. Okay, so that's upper shadow. Then we get the size of the body of the candlestick, so that's like from here to here. You can see it here. So this is the body of the pin bar candlestick. And then we get the size for the lower shadow, and the last variable here is that we check whether this is bullish pin bar or not, or bullish bar. Okay, and then we use all of this information in our condition, and if all of these conditions turn out to be true, then we have found our pin bar or bullish pin bar. And the conditions are these. So firstly we need to check whether the candlestick size times 0.66 is lower than lower shadow. So what this basically does is that we check for the bullish pin bar whether the lower shadow creates the majority of the whole candlestick distance basically. Okay, so that's our condition. And then we check if this is the bullish bar, and we also check whether the size of the body is higher than the size of the upper shadow. So we want the body to be bigger than the upper shadow. And if all of these conditions are true, then we return true because we have found our bullish pin bar. Okay, so now I'll just change these things in here. Okay, so let's just change these things. So color spring green. So this is not something you have to worry about that much. It's just yeah. Okay, so there's one more error and it's right here. Okay, so now it's without any errors. So let's just create comments. So getting candle or getting bar data, then calculating body size, upper and lower shadow size. Okay, so this is what we do here, and then in this if statement we check whether pin bar. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. And then we do the exactly same thing for the bearish pin bar. We just change few things there, because then we are checking for different things, but the concept of the bar is the same. Okay, so I hope that's clear as well. Great. So now we should be able to use these functions basically in order to detect the pin bars. So what I will do is that I will go here on this tick function, and I will create a new boolean variable called is bullish pin bar, and I will assign it a value of the bullish pin bar with shift of 1. And I will do the same thing here, is bearish pin bar, and I will just change this to bearish pin bar of 1. So is bullish pin bar and is bearish pin bar. Okay, so let's see what happens when I test the expert advisor like this, because if everything works, we should see an object created for the pin bars basically. Okay, so I will go to the MT5, and yeah, so this is called, how was it called, pin bar RSI EA. So I will just change some things here, click on visual mode, and let's see what's happening. So we already can see that we are receiving some pin bar signals. So this arrow, or this green arrow, signifies a bullish pin bar, and as you can see, this is nice pin bar, and this is also nice pin bar, and this red arrow indicates a bearish pin bar. So let's wait a few more here. So this is another pin bar, and as we can see, it works pretty well. So I'll go back here and identify pin bar. We can change the color to this green. Okay, so that's our next step done. So the following step is to identify overbought and oversold areas. Okay, so let's close this. Let's go here and let's do exactly that. So for detecting overbought and oversold areas, we will use the RSI indicator, and it will be very simple. Basically, when I go back here, I will just create a random chart, and I will open the RSI indicator on here. So you can see that we have some lines here in RSI indicator window, and this line is for the 30 level, this line is for 70 level, and our conditions will be very simple. When the RSI is higher than this 70 price level, then we are in overbought area. So for example, here you can see that we are in an overbought market, and here if we focus here, we can see that this is a pin bar. Okay, so our EA would open a sell position here. And for the oversold market, it's exactly the same. We wait for an RSI to be below this 30 level, and when it is so, we wait for a bullish pin bar to happen, and then we open a buy position. Let's find an instance of this. Okay, so I maybe here, that's this maybe here as well. Okay, so this is like what we are aiming for in this EA. So let's do it. So I will create a new function that will detect the overbought and oversold areas. It will have type of an integer because it will return number 1 for overbought, number 2 for oversold, and 0 when it's neither of those. So let's call it RSI function, and yeah, let's get to work. So the first thing we need to do is that we need to access the RSI values. If you remember here that we assigned an RSI indicator to the RSI handle, so now we can use the RSI handle in order to get the RSI values. So I'll just create a comment here. Let's say something like loading RSI handle with RSI indicator, something like this, or yeah, I hope it's clear. So what I will do now is that I will create an RSI array in which I will store the RSI values, and then I will use a function that is called copy buffer, which requires some parameters. So the first parameter is indicator handle, and that is our RSI handle. Then the buffer number is 0, starting position is also 0. No, starting position will be 1. Yeah, that's very important. Count will be 1, and we will store the RSI array into our RSI array. So, or RSI value into an RSI array. So that's good. I'll just create this. So storing RSI value into RSI array. Okay. So now we can create a new variable called RSI value, which will be basically RSI array at position 0. And now we can check. So if RSI value is higher than 70, then the market is overbought and we will return number 2. And if RSI value is lower than 30, then we will return number 1 because market is oversold, and here market is overbought. Okay, so that's basically that. And yeah, so this is all we need to do. So now I will, on this onTick function, I will create a new integer variable called let's call it market phase, and let's assign it the value of RSI function, and we can comment out the market phase just to check if this works properly. So let's go back to the MT5 editor, MT5, and let's check. So now we are returning number of 0, which is correct because the RSI value is inside these levels basically. But now we are approaching to be lower than this lower value. So let's check the comment here. So okay, so that didn't happen, so let's wait. And okay, Come on, RSI, do something. So now we are above the 70 level. It's not that clear here, but you can see that in this corner it comments out number of 2, which is correct based on our function. So this works as it should. So let's delete this comment function because I don't need it, and let's call this calling RSI function in order to get market phase. Okay, let's call it something like this. So let's get back to our board here, and let's change the color of our third step, as this is finished as well. So now we have to create the buy function and sell function. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so I will just do something like this here. And before we proceed with this buy and sell function, let's discuss the take profit and stop loss. Okay, because there are multiple ways how we can approach the stops when it comes down to any expert advisor. Basically, we can either use the static take profit and stop loss, which is completely valid. We can do that, but I think it will be more interesting for this video to change it up a bit. So let's open MT5 here and let's discuss what we will be doing. So let's say, for example, that at this point we are opening a sell position because we are above the 70 level and this is our bearish pin bar. So we open here, and I think it will be a good practice to set a take profit as an ATR, okay, or use ATR indicator as a take profit basically distance, because what ATR does is that it tells you how many points should the price move on average. Okay, so that's what ATR does, and we can use this information from the ATR in order to choose the correct take profit. And also it will be interesting to see combining different indicators, and yeah. So that's what I will do for the take profit part. And for stop loss part, I think it might be, or do you know what? Let's change it up a bit. The ATR indicator will be used for stop loss. So yeah, so that's what we will do. And for take profit, we will wait for an RSI to go below the 30 level for sell position, okay? And when we open a buy position, so for example somewhere here, then our take profit will be when an RSI goes above the 70 level. So that's something that might be pretty interesting to do, and it will be fun. So let's get to it. So since we will be working with ATR indicator, we have to do the same thing as we did with the RSI. Basically, we need to create a handle for ATR. Okay, so let's go down here and let's create integer ATR handle, which will be equal to nothing. And let's just add a comment here. So handle for ATR. So this is perfect. And then on this init function, basically we need to do the same thing as we did with RSI handle. We need to assign the ATR indicator here, and it's pretty simple. I will just use the period of 14. And then I will create an input which will say something like input double ATR mult, which will stand for ATR multiplier. So the user can choose for himself or herself like how big the stop loss should be, because you can, like, let's say that one ATR is equal to 150 points. So if you use ATR multiplier of 2, then you have 300 points. If you use ATR multiplier of something like 5, okay, then you have 750 points. Okay, so the ATR multiplier will define the stop loss size. Okay, so I hope that's clear as well. So let's do it like this, and this is all we need for now. So let's proceed with the buy and sell functions. So it will have it will be a function of void, of type void. So void functions don't return any values, they just do the thing that they are supposed to do, but they don't return any value back. So let's firstly create a buy function. Okay, so the buy function will require one argument, which will be called something like buy. Okay, basically we will tell the function whether the pin bar and RSI conditions met, and if they do meet, or if like RSI is okay and there's a pin bar, then we will open a buy position. But if they are not met, then we won't. So what we will do firstly is that we will create if statement basically. So if buy is equal to false, then we will return and we won't execute the rest of the code. Okay, so this is the first thing. Then what we need to do is that we need to assign value to the ask price, because we will be using ask price in order to open buy position. So symbol info double, so it's for current symbol ask. So let's comment here getting ask price, and then we will need the ATR value as well, which will be used for the stop loss. So let's create ATR array. Okay, and then call the copy buffer function with ATR handle, buffer number 0, position 1, count 1, and we will store it into ATR array. So this is what we need. And then let's do something like this. So iterate by volume, don't worry about the volume for now. Symbol will be current symbol, price is ask price, stop loss is ask price minus the ATR array at position 0 times the ATR multiplier. Take profit will be 0, because basically we don't know at what price does the RSI go either above or below the opposite price level, basically. So that's something we need to figure out later. And comment will be buy. Okay, so this is okay. And I will also create one more condition, because what we want to avoid is that we don't want to open multiple positions on the same bar or on the same candlestick, basically. And since this is on tick function, therefore this function will be or will run multiple times on the same candlestick. Then we need to check that we don't have any open position on that candlestick. So I will create static variable of type integer called last bar, should 0. I will also create integer called bars, which will basically tell me how many bars are there, and I will check if last bar is the same as bars. That means that we opened a position at the same candlestick as we are now. Then I will return, so I won't open any additional. And if this is not the case, then I will assign the bars value to the last bar, basically. So yeah, this is good. So now let's do the same thing and let's copy it here, and let's just call this the sell function. So and let's change a few things here. So the first will be sell here, last bars will stay the same. We need bid price, so bid ATR stay the same. Here we are calling the trade.sell function. We sell at the bid price. We set stop loss at bid price plus the ATR times the ATR multiplier, and let's call here sell. So yeah, I think this is good. So let's get back here and let's change the colors. Okay, nice. So now what we can do is that we can call a buy function, and now we will create these parentheses here, and we'll call is bullish pin bar and market phase is equal to 1. I think it's a 1. If it's not, I will change it later. And the same will go here for sell function is bearish, market phase is equal to 2. Okay, so now let's test this out just to see if this works, and let's hope that it does. So okay, so for some reason it doesn't open any positions right here, so there's some issue. So let's comment the market phase, because maybe I forgot what the value is there. So yeah, sorry, I got distracted by these arrows because they only show the pin bars basically, but they don't take into an account the RSI. So like we don't want to open any positions here. So let's wait a bit more. Okay, so this takes pretty long because the RSI doesn't move anywhere basically. Let's see. No, there are no positions. Okay, so I don't like this, and that's because the ATR basically doesn't. Okay, so this is good. So we have opened our first sell position, and we opened the sell position at this point. That's because we had this pin bar, this beautiful pin bar on the previous candlestick. So this is great. And also this is our stop loss, which can be seen above the open price, which is also perfect. And we don't have any take profit because we need to create a function to check for the basically for this crossover. So we would close this sell position right here. So now that we know that this works as it should be working, let's wait for one more position basically. Hopefully it will be buy position to check both of the sides. But from like from this we can see that we will have to like change RSI period, because RSI 14 does produce too low number of positions. So let's change this here. Let's 6 maybe, and let's see. Okay, so now we are opening sell position. Let's wait for a buy position as well. Okay, is there any buy position? There has to be. Come on, give me a buy position. Okay, so this was very close. Another sell position. and buy position here. Okay, perfect. So this works for sell and buy positions as well. So now let's create functions that will serve as a take profit. So basically we will check whether we should close either buy or sell positions in a profit or not. Okay, so it will be function of type void, and let's call it closing positions. Okay, and there will be one argument called market phase. Okay, so that's like basically the market phase value from here will go into that function, and what we will do is that we will do something like this. So if market phase is equal to 1, therefore the market is oversold, then we should close all, so close all sell positions. Okay, and if market phase is equal to 2, then we are overbought, then we should close all buy positions, and that's what we will do. So we will create a for loop in which we will loop through all of available or through all of the open positions, and we will get few, or we'll get, I don't want to get anything, we will just close the positions. Okay, so the first thing is that we need to get the ticket for each of the open positions. So position ticket, get ticket, okay, and then we need just a type of position. Okay, so we need to know whether the position is buy or sell. So position get integer, and its type, and this is all we need. So now we can check. So if type is equal to position type sell, then we will call the trade position close with the ticket number, and deviation is -1, and then I will copy this here, paste it here, and I'll just check if type is equal to buy, and this should work. So right after these functions I will call this closing positions, and market phase will be equal to market phase value. So now if I compile this and I run this here, you can see it here. So basically we have opened a sell position at this point, and we can see that we've closed this with a profit, and that's because here it was here it was below, or it was equal to 30 level, and since like we used the shift of 1, therefore on this candlestick we get RSI value for this candlestick basically, then it works as it should. So let's wait for a few more positions here. I will slow this down, and let's wait. Okay, so come on. Okay, okay, so this is our sell position, which also closed in a profit, our buy position, which closed in a loss. But yeah, it doesn't really matter now, because our focus one was creating this EA, and now we can test its performance. Let's wait for one more entry or signal, and after that I will test the EA. Okay, and okay, so this is our buy position, and nothing happens. Okay, let's test it out. So before we test it, I would like to say that my hopes for this EA are not too high. Basically, what will happen is that I think that we will have a very low number of positions, because from what we were able to see throughout that backtest basically, is that the number of signals that we receive is very, very low. And also one thing that will happen is that I will have to use higher number of ATR multiplier. So those are my predictions. So let's test it. This is like 1 year on 15-minute time frame, and let's see what happens. Okay, this doesn't seem bad. We have 56 positions, which is not that much over the last year, but yeah, we can work with that. So what we can see, what we can do is that we can change this to 5-minute time frame, and this looks nice. This looks nice, and we have 200 positions, which is perfect for us. Now let's dive into this statistic a little bit more. So average profit trade is 131, which is equal to 131 points, and our average losing trade is 91 points basically. Okay, we can see that profit trades is 44%, which is good with this basically with this risk reward ratio. So this looks nice. Also, what we can see here is that, is there something interesting? The profit factor of 114, that's okay. Okay, so from this I like this, but what will happen when I change the backtesting or testing period to something like 7 years or so? Okay, so now it doesn't perform that well, and this is really funny. Just on a side note, like, this is not related to this video, but I just like want to show you one thing that all those YouTubers related to trading on YouTube do wrong. Basically, when you check a video of almost every trading guru that is focused on backtesting, they will tell you something like, yeah, backtest the system, for example, on 100 trades, okay? Or they will tell you that you should backtest the system over the last year or so. And here on this example, you can see why you can't trust this. Basically, this period starting here, since the end of the backtest, this seems profitable. And let's remember that this period right here is 1 year and 250 positions, I think it was. So if you backtest it yourself, like on the chart, you like looped through the history and you did the backtest on your own, then the result you would obtain is that this strategy is profitable. But then what you can do is that you can use MQL5, do something like this, and you can see that this is absolute garbage. So yeah, this is just like on a side note, just keep this in mind. Okay, so let's see what happens when I change this to 15 minutes time frame basically. Because the rule usually is that with higher time frame you reduce the noise in the market, and therefore the performance should be better. And it is better. This is much more nicer result than the one that we have seen before that. Okay, so let's change this to 1 hour and let's hope for the best basically. Yeah, and this is like basically a This is a system that won't make you money, but it won't lose you a lot of money as well. Okay, so now we know that I would probably go with 15-minute time frame, and what I will do is that I will do a simple backtest or optimization. Okay, so I will choose the RSI and ATR. So let's start RSI for step 2, and let's go to 25, and for ATR 2, and let's do something like 10. So this should be very fast. There are just 99 combinations to this, and let's see if we can like choose the best settings for this EA so it can be actually profitable. Okay, so in the meantime I will go. Okay, I hope this won't. Okay, I hope this will run. What's happening here? Agents. Okay. Okay, it's optimizing, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's wait for the optimization to end here. Just 1 second. And yeah, so we can see that we do receive some pretty good good results, but what we have to keep in mind is that we are backtesting this on the last 7 years. I think it was 7 years. Yeah, 7 years, and 140 positions for 7 years. That's bad. That's like 20 positions for a year divided by 12. It's like not even 2 positions per month. Okay, so this is not something that we can work with. Yeah, this is just garbage. Okay, so let's stop this backtest because we can already tell that we can work or we want to work with. I can backtest this optimization with 350 positions almost. So this is like the optimization which I liked the most. So let's just looks like. Yeah, but I would say that this is like also a how to call it, a break-even EA basically. It won't make you much money, but you won't lose a lot as well. Okay, so I think that this is enough for the optimization. Basically, we could optimize this on different symbols as well, but basically I think we wouldn't receive results that would differ that much, because here the main issue is with number of positions, and from my experience this doesn't like change that much based on different symbol basically, so it will be a waste of time in my opinion. But yeah, here you have the complete code and you can backtest it for yourself. You can try different approaches, try different symbols, different time frames, just have your fun with this. And yeah, so for the end of the video I will go through the code one more time. I'll just show you the complete code so you can just copy it basically and have your complete EA. So we start here with importing the trade class, and after that I create an instance of the trade class which allows me to open buy and sell positions. After that I create RSI handle, which is used for RSI indicator, and RSI period input variable, which is going to be used in the RSI indicator. Then I create two variables, ask and bid price, which will be used when opening positions. And I also do the same thing for ATR indicator. So firstly create ATR handle and ATR multiplier, which is used in stop loss. Then moving on this on init function, sorry, I assign the indicators to the handles. So this is for RSI indicator, this is for ATR indicator, and this is all I do basically on this init function. Then I create a lot of, or not a lot of, a few functions. So the first function is bullish pin bar. This function is able to recognize the bullish pin bar pattern, and it will return value true if the pin bar happens, and it will return value of false when it does not. And the same is for the bearish pin bar pattern as well, which you can see right here. Okay. Then I use the RSI function, or I create RSI function, which basically tells me whether the RSI is either above or below certain levels. You can change the levels right here, and if neither of this is true, then it returns 0. And basically I use this value in other functions as well, so this is important. Then I have my buy function and sell function, which basically checks a few conditions right here, and if none of them are causing any issues, then I open buy position and sell position. And then I have my last function right here, which is closing positions function, which basically serves a purpose of take profit for the positions that are opened. Yeah, so that's it. And then on this on tick function, I firstly called is bullish, then bearish, the RSI function, which gives me the market phase, and then I use all of this information in a buy function, sell function, and closing positions function. And yeah, so this is the complete code. I hope this was helpful. It's always like fun to try different EAs basically. I don't think that I have ever created, or like in videos I have ever used a price action combined with an indicator, so this was fun. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.